Okay, so you're working on round 4. I have actually changed colors to catch up with you. I kind of grabbed just 2 skeins off the top. So here's one, here's our second one, and then here's the third one. So on your fourth one, it says using color B, join with the slip stitch in the second double crochet of any shell. So as we said before, this right here is going to be your shell. You have 2 double crochets, then 2 chain stitches and 2 double crochets here. Okay, now it says to join with the slip stitch into the second double crochet of any shell. Okay, but the thing about it is when they talk about that, you talk about the second double crochet of any shell here. Okay, now you are kind of right because you're going in between. I'm going to try to pull this out so that you can see it here. When you pull on it, you're going to see that you have a loop here, right there, and then you have another loop right there. Okay, so what that's going to be is this loop actually goes to this first double crochet. This hole goes to the second double crochet. Okay, so when it tells you to slip stitch into the second of any shell, you are going to go in between the 2, but you're going to find that hole between the 2. Okay, so I just hold mine like this, and I stick it in that hole, wrap it around, pull through, and it tells you to slip stitch, so I just kind of, it looks more like a single crochet, and then I make sure that I pull this snug so it doesn't come undone. Alright, then you hold it. Now it'll say chain 3, so we do that. 1, 2, 3. Now that's going to count as your a double crochet. Okay, now it'll say chain, or it'll say shell in the next 2, in the next chain 2 space right here. So we're going to do a shell here, which is our oops, hold on, I'm sorry. We are going to do your double crochets, 2 of them, because we're making a shell, and then back into that hole. Okay, now you chain your 2. Now because this is a shell, you're going to go into that same hole, which was the chain 2 space, and you're going to do 2 more double crochet. My yarn is being so misbehaving. Okay, so there's 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet. Okay, so now you have 3 here, because that's going to be a double crochet, then you have 2, then your chain 2. So these 2 here make up your shell. 1, 2, your chain 2, and then your 2 double crochet here, but then you have your third, which was your chain, which acts like a double crochet. Okay, now when it tells you that you're going to double crochet in your next stitch, this is where it gets kind of tricky. Okay, because if you look at your next set of double crochets, you have to find your hole. Let me pull that out so that I don't lose it. Here. Alright, let me move that. Okay, so now you have your 2 double crochets here. Okay, and you have to find your holes. Your hole is going to be on your first double crochet, your hole is right there, and then on your second one, it's right there. And on this second one, it is like you're going in between the 2. But if you pull it and stretch a little bit, you'll see 1, 2. Okay? So it's going to tell you right here to double crochet in the next one. So you're going to put it into that hole there, and you're going to double crochet there. Okay? So now when you look at it, this corner now has 3. It's got the chain, which is a double crochet, then 1, 2, then 2 stitches, your 2 double crochets, and then your next one. Okay, now it'll say skip your next 2 stitches. So we have to figure those out, which is your next 2 stitches. So this one and that double crochet you're going to skip. So you skip the holes for those. You skip that hole and you skip that hole, and you're going to go into this next one and you double crochet into that stitch. So wrap it around, you double crochet in that stitch there, then you have that double crochet. Now it's going to tell you to continue around to shell in the next chain 2 space. So your next chain 2 space is there, so you double crochet here. Okay, then we're going to chain 2 for your shell, and then we're going to go back into the same hole, and we're going to do 2 more double crochets. Okay, now because we're repeating it, you're going to double crochet and you're going to put it in this hole, which is that space right there. So you double crochet here. Now when you look at it, you have 1, 2, 3, then a 2, then 1, 2, 3, and then here it didn't have you do anything, so you're going to go here 1, 2, 3, then your chain 2, and then 1, 2, 3, and then you skip your next 2. So you're skipping 1, skipping 2, which is this one and that one, and you're going into your next one, which is here. Alright, so you're going to double crochet there. Now you do your shell into your chain 2 space. And then you chain 2 and 2 more double crochets. Alright, and then you have your double crochet for your third one. Let me drag out some more yarn here. Alright, then you're going to skip 2, and then you're going to double crochet in this one. Okay, and then you're going to shell into this one, and then we just continue the round, and then 2, and then 2 more double crochet in that same hole. Okay, and now we're at where we're going to make our next double crochet, which is here into that hole. Okay, now we're going to go a little bit slower, just in case I've lost you here. Okay, we're going to slow down again. We're going to skip the 2. So we're skipping this one, so we skip that hole. We're skipping this one, so we skip that hole. And then we're picking up in the hole between these 2 here. And we make a double crochet here. And then we shell into our chain 2 space, which is here. So you double crochet here. We'll do 2 of those. Okay. And then you're going to chain 2 to help complete the shell. Alright. And then we're going to double crochet into that same hole twice to complete that shell. Okay. Now remember, we need our third one to finish off this pattern that they have. So again, this one right here, go just to the right just a little bit, stick it in that hole, and that's where you're going to go around. Okay, now we're back to skipping 2 again. So you skip this hole, you skip that hole, you pick up this hole. Okay, now after we've done that, we do our shell into the hole. Okay, and then we're going to finish off our shell with 2 more double crochets. Okay, now we need to do the double crochet, so that'll finish the third one. So we'll have our groups of 3. Now we're going to skip 2, 1, 2, skip those 2, go into here and do your double crochet. Now we're going to shell into this chain 2 space. So a shell is 2 double crochets here, chain 2, and then 2 more double crochets here. Okay, and then we're going to do the third one, which is that hole right in there. Okay, and we're going to continue the round. Alright, now something that I wanted to point out, when you look at this, because of the way that they've done this pattern, you're going to get, if you notice, you're going to get some rippling. It's not laying flat, but that's the way that the pattern is. The other thing that I want to point out is when you look at the pattern and look at the blanket, what you're going to notice here is on this round you have 3 double crochets in a row. 1, 2, 3, then a chain 2. 1, 2, 3. Then this is going to be what's going to make all those cool little holes and stuff that you get. For the blanket, you go 1, 2, 3, then a chain 2, 1, 2, 3. Now, this one has a unique step in number 5. If you need help with that, let me know, because this one actually works with V-stitches. And the V-stitches are not my favorite, but they do okay. I'm used to the Ripple Baby blanket, which is very similar to this one, and it does not use the V-stitches. But what I want to point out is if you notice here how you have 3, 1, 2, 3, then your chain 2, and then 1, 2, 3. Basically what this blanket is doing, as you increase your rounds, these amounts here are going to increase. So eventually this one will be 3, and then after it does the V and it gets larger, then this one will be 4, then the next one will be 5, and the next one will be 6, and that's what increases your row. So on your next one, when you get to it, most likely when it has you skip your 2, okay, you're going to skip this one, and then your next one, you'll have 2 here, which is 1 here and 1 here, and then you'll do your shell, and your shell has 2 plus that one and that one. Your next one will be 4. Okay, and this one we can continue just going around. I'm going to try to do this really quick so that you can kind of see the whole thing. So you skip 1, 2, and you double crochet, and then you make your shell. And my daughter focused the camera, so I'm hoping I'm get everything for you here. And we shell. So we're shelling here. Okay. Now we got to do our third one here. Don't forget that one. Okay, then we skip 2, skip 1, skip 2, and you're going to go into that one. Okay, and then you shell here. If I go too fast on these videos, please let me know, because I'm a very quick crocheter. And as you can tell by my stitching, I crochet very loosely. It's just something that you kind of figure out when you first learn, is if you're loose or if you're tight. And I am a very loose crocheter, whereas my daughter, she holds her yarn and everything exactly like I do, but she crochets very tight. So we can't work on the same projects together, because hers is tight, mine is loose. Okay. Now we're going to continue on. We're doing the shell here. Okay, and then the third one again. And then I'm going to go ahead and skip my 2, and we're going to pick up this one right here. Okay. And then we're going to shell into this hole here. And then of course chain 2. And if you notice, it's kind of hard for me to show you because I tend to move my fingers. If you notice how I have my yarn wrapped, I go around there and bring it up here. But I also find that it's helpful if I use these fingers to hold it in place. So my fingers tend to get in the way a lot. So if you end up not seeing the stitches, let me know. Oh, looks like I got a snaggle on that one, so we're gonna undo this one here. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, and then 2 double crochets. Oh, oh, oh. Bad, bad yarn. Okay, so we got our 2 double crochets, and then we're going to work into our 3rd hole here, or our 1st hole, so that we can do our 3. We're almost to the end. Now, the thing I was going to show you on the other one that I didn't, see all these little tails? When I flip it over, I didn't tuck these in. So this means I have to go back and do those in with the needle. I'm going to show you how to do this, fix it so that you don't have to. I did it here and here, but I didn't do it on any of these. What I'm going to show you here is if you take your end from your color changes and hold it down with your fingers as you go along, you can actually weave those in as you go. So you would go around here. You're going to skip 2, skip 1, skip 2, but hold this down, and if you catch it in here with your yarn when you get done, okay, now we're going to shell, and remember where I'm holding this here. Okay, we're going to shell here. I know it seems kind of like a pain to do that, but if you do it, you will love it because it minimizes it at the end. Okay. So we're going to chain 2, and we're going to complete the shell, still holding this down in there so it's snug. I normally don't tie my yarn off like they did in this one, and it's kind of driving me nuts that they did, but people sometimes do it differently. Maybe in a later video I'll show you how I actually do it. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3 for your shell, or for your slip stitch here. We're going to slide this in here, and we're going to slip stitch here. Okay, so now when you lay it flat, it's going to come out a little bit, but there you go. That is round 4. Next, it looks like you're going to be working on V-stitches. If you need help with those, let me know. And I'm going to show you the back really quick here. Now, as you can see, that was the one that I actually weaved in. So all I have to do at this point is take this and snip it off. And I have no need to... Now, this one is a little bit crooked, but... And I can snip off this one here because I wrapped it. And then I can snip off this one here because I wrapped it. And then these... I actually now have to take the time to weave them in. This one is actually okay because I did it in when I first did it. Okay, and that's when I told you, see how you can pull it and make it smaller. But these ones I didn't do that on, so now I have to weave them in later on. But there you go, that is round 4. Let me know if you need help with round 5.